This video is a bit of a departure from my usual format because the emphasis is on 3 different techniques rather than just one specific recipe being made. The first is an introduction to a new low-cost kitchen gadget called a barbecue maker that's an indoor rotisserie device for kebabs, as you'll see. Next is a method for cooking delicious rice dishes in the oven that's foolproof, and it can be used to remedy dry, tough cooked chicken breast pieces. Finally, at the end of this video is a quick tutorial on how to make garlic aioli with a commercial twist that's both economical and delicious.
I have a large mortar and pestle here with 25 grams of garlic that's been coarsely chopped, a full tablespoon of coarse salt,
and half a teaspoon of black peppercorns.
And grind this well and make sure that all of the black peppercorns are broken up in the process. Eventually end up with a paste. Olive oil. That's the oil, we grind it some more. Cut the chicken into large pieces that can go on skewers like this. About 15 minutes later, you get something like this. I have assembled the ingredients here. I have fresh parsley, fresh basil, 100 milliliters of cream, 500 milliliters of chicken broth. The chicken that was put on the kebabs and cooked, actually I did this 3-4 days ago and just refrigerated it until I was ready to go. This will keep for a while. Now from here you can cut these cubes up small, or you can leave them whole as you prefer. I'm actually going to cut these up, but a lot of people like this sort of thing with giant cubes of chicken in it. I've also got a couple of red chilies in it. Now you can scrape and seed them to make it less hot. You can leave it out completely if you really don't like hot food. To me, the chili is really what makes this dish sing. But, you know, suit yourself. So I'm going to slice all this up and then begin combining it. I've also got here, off to the side where you can't see, I've got 200 grams of basmati rice that's been rinsed in a sieve. Rinsed with cold water. Always use cold water. Just to show you how this breaks down, we've got about a small handful of the red chilies, about the same amount of basil, actually a little bit more of the basil, about half as much of the parsley. I've cut the chicken in pieces, and now we're ready to combine everything. Into the ceramic braising vessel, I'm going to first add the basmati rice that's already been rinsed in cold water, the chicken, basil, parsley, red chilies, put them all in there, the chicken stock, chicken broth, excuse me, the cream, cutting board, get all the rest of that in, and now the secret ingredient, if you want to use it, Campari. I've got about a tablespoon of Campari, Italian liqueur here. Don't have to use it, you can. Mix it together, Make sure that it's nice and evenly mixed. And then put a lid on it and pop it in the oven. Very simple at this point. Yeah, this is about 3 hours later. You can see it's firmed up and it looks cooked. You need to check it to make sure, but it looks fine. And I'll just turn this out on a plate and fluff it up a bit. And it's easier to first move it to a large bowl like this. Fluff it up a little bit, break it up. And the texture of this rice is absolutely perfect. It's moist, but it's not at all sticky. You can put other things in here. It's a great way of cooking the rice. I have 2 or 3 cloves here of crushed garlic. I have an egg yolk. Now, I washed the outside of this egg with warm soapy water, a lot of warm soapy water first. You have to read volume 2 of my cookbook to see why this makes getting salmonella from raw egg virtually impossible. Not completely impossible, so you got about a 1 in 20,000 chance of still getting it, but almost impossible. I also have lemon, but I'm going to add this in a few minutes after I start. Now, if you're really worried about raw egg yolk, then you can just mix the garlic with mayonnaise and be done with it. Commercial store-bought mayonnaise, but it'll never be the same. What I actually like to do is do both. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil. You need to add it a little bit at a time. And once the emulsion starts forming, which takes some whisking, a minute or so. Once the emulsion starts forming, then you can add the oil a little bit faster. And at the end, then you can mix in a little mayonnaise, not only to extend it, but to add flavor. There's flavors going on in commercial mayonnaise that you can't duplicate at home, as they got chemicals in there, honestly. They got things in there you're not going to be able to buy that taste pretty good, and it's not just MSG. So we continue this process for a couple minutes here. Well, once you've got a fair amount of mayonnaise in here, now you can add a little bit of salt and squeeze of lemon juice. Exactly how much you add is going to be a matter of personal taste. You could also add a pinch of sugar if you're Russian and you really hate sour things like most Russians do, and the lemon juice is offensive to you. You can add some sugar in there. A lot of commercial mayonnaises have sugar in them. Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil. This is enough. Now I'm going to add a little commercial mayonnaise to this. You don't have to do this. You can just make it all the mayonnaise yourself. I like the combination myself. It's just a personal preference. I like some of those other flavors going on in there. Now we have the garlic aioli that you can use with the rice.
The second volume of my cookbook is now available through Amazon and other booksellers. It covers the YouTube recipes from the last 8 months with more in-depth information. I received requests for the procedures on all recipes, and I've listened to you. Every recipe has step-by-step directions, and of course there are recipes that aren't on YouTube. But this is not just a recipe book. Far from it, as you can see from some of the topics scrolling by here. I'm certain that anyone who watches my channel and any serious cook will find this book a treasury of useful and new information you won't find anywhere else. If you want to know more about my adventures as a chef around the world and have some great laughs along the way, be sure to check out the video tour of my book, 40 Years in One Night. It's up on YouTube right now. Click the link.
Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.